Okay, so today I'm setting up and reviewing the Teton Timpanogos tent frame for the 12x12 canvas tent. This is my first time assembling it, and overall I'm actually really impressed with the frame system. But there are definitely a few things I learned during setup that would have helped a lot going into this, and you'll see why. So the frame comes packaged pretty compact, but one thing I noticed immediately is there really aren't any instructions included. The poles aren't color coded, so at first glance it can feel a little overwhelming trying to figure out which pieces go where, and that's what I'm doing. You pretty much have to go off the product picture and start matching pieces together by shape and length, so that's pretty much what I ended up doing here. Just laying out everything out and trying to come up with a game plan before I started assembling anything. I definitely recommend having another person help with setup if possible. You can do it alone like I did here, but having someone hold sections upright while you connect pieces would make things a lot easier. At first, I honestly spent more time organizing the poles and figuring out the structure than actually assembling it. Once the layout starts making sense though, it goes together pretty logically. One thing I ended up doing was setting up the 4 main corner posts and the center ridge bar, and that allowed me to get the tent standing enough so I could actually work inside while assembling the rest of the frame. And honestly, that worked pretty well, because the first time I tried to do it without setting up, don't even try it. So once the basic structure was up, the rest of the poles started falling into place. The frame itself feels solid overall, and once everything is connected, it gives the tent a really sturdy shape compared to just having the tent poles and the ridge bar. Now, I really only have 2 complaints about this frame system. The first one has to do with the eave support bar placement around the windows. Right now, the eave bar actually splits the window in half, so you don't really get a complete clear opening or window opening. I think a better design would be to use 2 separate support bars instead, one positioned between the windows and the other one on the opposite side of the window. That way you have just an even support of those eave bars. The other good thing about this tent frame is these little extension bars, those little black pieces where it's actually a locking system. You can unlock the poles and then you can extend them out and then lock them back in place. And what the good thing about it is you take out all of the slack when you pull them out, and yeah, what a great design. Honestly, that's the feature I really like the most, is just fine-tuning with the tension on those bars. It definitely helps tighten everything, and it gives the whole tent a much more cleaner and solid setup compared to just regular pulls and tie downs. The second issue I ran into happened during assembly. One of the side frame sections ended up falling while I was putting everything together, and a couple of welds actually broke. So for me personally, it's not a huge issue because I can repair it. I do have a welder here on site, but it's something worth mentioning. Again, it's one of the reasons why it's best to have 2 people. That way one person can kind of hold it up. But aside from those 2 things, I really do like this frame system overall. And once everything was together, the structure felt solid. Gave it a tent a much better shape than just using the poles and guidelines and the center ridge pole. It just looks a lot better. The only thing left now is to remove the 4 corner posts, the guidelines, and the center ridge pole. I also had to clear out a bunch of sagebrush in this area just to make enough room for the setup. I may actually turn this into more of a permanent camp area later on. I'm thinking about putting some kind of canopy set up over here. Could have a kitchen or maybe a garage for my 4-wheeler. Just in this area where I kind of cleared out. I do still need to come back and install the 8x8 awning, but even as I head to my wonderful sportsman's chair, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. One of the awesome things about this spot is the view. Can you imagine just waking up in the morning looking at that? Yeah, I can't wait. Once I got everything set up inside with the bed, the chairs, and all the camp gear, it actually started feeling really comfortable and functional. And apparently, I have some kind of obsession with these Sportsman's Warehouse chairs. But honestly, they're comfortable, especially the brown recliner. That one's probably my favorite camping chair out of all of them. Overall, for a first setup, I think the Teton Timpanogos frame system is great. There are definitely a couple of things I'd improve, but once everything's together, it creates a really solid and comfortable camp setup. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what to expect if you're thinking about setting one up yourself. Thanks for watching.